Hey, hopefully doing well. I want to come to you today to talk about how my bookkeeping mentee signed up 3 client-ups. So basically she signed up 3 cleanup clients and $2,000 in monthly recurring revenue. I wanted to be able to walk you through how she did that because I know right now a lot of people, we're seeing people going through a couple different spots, right? We're seeing people where it's either that they are having a very easy time getting clients now that we're like in the beginning of the year, and we're having some people where it's the same old words. Sometimes they can maybe get people interested, but they can't get people to pull the trigger, and it's a very mixed bag. So hopefully I'm live. If I'm live inside of this either YouTube channel, if you're watching me on Facebook or on school, put a 0 in the chat if you see me live. So put a 0 if you see me live, and I'll know I'm live and I can get started. Okay, I'm seeing a couple ones. I see someone say Douglas. Oh, hey Douglas, good to see you. Douglas used inside of our school group. So good to see you here on YouTube today. So I want to touch on this because I know a lot of people, like, when I first got started back in 2015, I did not really understand how to get people to commit. So when I say commit, that's I would do the consultation calls, I would say my price, and then people would be like, oh, that's okay, and then I would never hear from them again. It would take like anywhere between 6 months to a year, and then they would maybe say some kind of weird excuse, right? So I want to make sure you guys don't have to go through the same things that I went through when I was starting. So first things first, whenever you're pricing, we're always looking to charge between $500 to $5,000 per month per client. Now, a lot of the times what happens is that people think that when they're first starting their business, they have to start off giving beginner prices. Now, that is not necessarily true, right? A lot of people don't understand that pricing is not really about you as an individual. It's really about the objective value of the work that you're doing. Now, when I say value, I think that's a complex kind of word that a lot of people really don't understand, right? So then you get people having a warped view of what value means. So some people say, my value is this. And it's, you can't really go based off what you think your intrinsic value is, because most people, if you're not doing some of the stuff we're going to talk about in marketing, you're always going to be struggling to get people to see the exact intrinsic value that you see on yourself, and you're gonna have an even harder time getting people to pay at that intrinsic value level. So it's easier for you to get value to be focused on the size of the other person's problems, okay? So the first things first, right? The price that you're gonna be charging is always going to be in direct proportion to the size of the client, because that is going to dictate in a lot of cases the amount of work that's within their books, the complexity of their books depending on their industry, and also how much every unit of change that you bring into the company, like how much impact that has. So I'll give you an example. So let's say you're working with a company, they're doing about, let's say about $100,000 per year, right? So doing about $100,000, and let's say that you give them some kind of, you help them find 1% of savings in one area in the business, right? So we'll say $100,000 times 1%, that's gonna be about $1,000 that you just basically help them go and achieve. And that's good, right? If you're not making a lot of money, extra $1,000 is good. But if you're talking to a company that's doing about, let's say that they're doing about $5 million per year, and you save them 1% in one place, that's $50,000 that they would have been able to get as a result of implementing something that you gave them. Now, if you can do that a couple times, where you save 50,000 here, 50,000 there, 50,000 everywhere, right? They're going to respect you a lot more, and they're going to be willing to give you bonuses, and be willing to pay you a lot more, and they're going to want to refer friends to you, right? So by that logic, it's not that we don't want to help out small clients, it's just that there's not enough meat on the bone in a lot of cases for them to fully utilize the benefit of your skill sets, and thus the gratitude they place on working with you is not quite as high. So you have to start going after clients that are really good. Also too, some people might say, Bryce, I can't charge someone like $5,000, $10,000 for a cleanup project or something. You gotta remember, a lot of these companies, right, at $10,000 per year, you're gonna be like their lowest paid contractor if you charge them only $10,000 for the year, right? Same thing with, it's a lot of these people, if they're not willing to pay you, let's say you get someone like they're not willing to pay you $500 let's say a month, right? It's about $6,000. That's the same as like maybe about 2 to 3 Apple laptops, right? So if they're not willing to pay you the same as like an Apple laptop, are they really that appreciative of the work that you're doing? And in a lot of cases, the answer is no. So I just really would not even be like really thinking and focused on working with those kind of people. Now, I understand people are like, I want to help out someone who's just getting started, but in business, you really have to focus on helping yourself out first, getting to that point to where you can replace your income from your job, getting to that place to where your business can be self-sustaining, and then you can start really being more helpful and offering like free or low cost kind of things. Like for example, like these videos, right? I don't charge for like any of the YouTube videos on my channel, right? Because I want to help people that maybe can't afford our mentorship programs or maybe are not ready for the mentorship program, right? But if I was just getting started in my, let's say, coaching business, I would not do a lot of free stuff, right? Because I would need to make money as quickly as possible. So it's the same thing, right? So you start doing what you need to do in order to get revenue and start getting income, and then you do stuff that you want to do or you give back as you hit a certain stage inside of your business. Now, the next thing, okay, so a lot of people start asking, what should I actually be doing to get these clients, okay? Now, we had to start with pricing because in order for us to know who to talk to, we had to know exactly how much we should be charging. So between $500 per month or $5,000 per month per client, you have to be talking to clients that are between $500,000 per year to about $6 million per year in revenue, okay? Now, a lot of the problem that people have is not that they can't just find high value potential clients. Oftentimes, you just don't have enough respect built up from the people that you're speaking to for them to pay you appropriately. And before we go any further, put down a 1 in the chat if you kind of understand about proportional pricing, right? Where we're not charging too much money, we're charging a very proportional amount of money to the people that we're gonna be working with. Put a 1 down in the chat if you understand that. Or if you have a question, you can drop your question inside the chat and I could segue from some of the stuff that we're talking about as well. Yeah, if you're watching YouTube, really appreciate you spending some time with us today. If you're watching on Facebook, it's good to see you again. I know on Facebook I haven't streamed to the Facebook group in a little while, so good to see you guys there. Now, okay, so when I talk about respect, it's not that people are not gonna like, it's not that they're gonna call you names like they're being disrespectful. It's that they do not necessarily either aspire to be you, they don't really have reverence of your skill set, or they don't trust you enough because they just haven't spent enough time knowing about you. All those together are going to equal respect, right? They have to look up to you in some way and respect what you have to offer. Now, for most people, most bookkeepers, what happens is they make no content, they just run into someone like at a networking event, and then they're expecting the person to fully understand, hey, they should be paying me this amount of money. But people don't really understand that. You have to educate them on why they should be working with you or why should they care about working with you. Now, I understand that's not necessarily like the most straightforward question, right? I was talking to a person yesterday on it was like every month I do a free coaching call for people that maybe are not in the position to start with my program right away. And the way that she was describing a lot of like accounting and bookkeeping, it really did not educate a person on why they should work with her. She was just saying what she did. And it's not a foregone conclusion that every single person you speak to is really going to understand why they need your help as a bookkeeper or even as an accountant in general, right? A lot of people, when they think of an accountant or a bookkeeper, all they think about is just doing stuff straight for tax season. So if you do not understand how to explain the difference and or get someone inspired about your service, like why it's important, you're never going to be able to charge the price point you need. And you're always going to have people where it's, oh, I don't know, oh, let me get back with you, I need to think about this first, I need to go talk to my business partner. You're always going to get a bunch of excuses if you don't do it correctly. So the easiest way to start doing this is if you have the ability to, making written content is going to be the easiest place to start generating that respect and start generating that trust. So at least once, twice a week, you should be making posts to whatever social media platform that you have about why someone should, number one, like who are you and what's your story? Number two, give some piece of value. Number 3, start making calls to action to tell people like they need, like what should they do if they want to work with you? Should they reach out to you? Should they click a link in your bio to go book a call? Let them know how they can actually go and interact with working with you. Now, those first 2 types of posts, the stories and also the value, that used to be a lot harder to do, right? Up until probably about 2023, like we used to have to actually make these posts ourselves. But nowadays, give me one second, my computer's not plugged in. Oops. But nowadays, you have these things like ChatGPT, you have all these AI kind of software tools that can make content for you. Now, if you're just getting started, I would not recommend that you rely 100% on these AI platforms to make content. You should at least start understanding like why do some people do the things that they do, and always be asking yourself like why is the AI writing content in this way? What is the point they're trying to get across? Why do they start the post like this? Every single time the AI makes a post for you, ask it why did it do the things that it did, or else you're never going to learn. Now, I know people are thinking like, why would I want to learn this stuff? I don't want to be a marketer. You don't want to be a marketer, but you want to be able to start getting an awareness of what you're doing so that you know how to improve it, either in case something goes away or in case maybe the AI kind of doesn't make the post as effective as what it potentially can. Because that's a really big thing. Yes, it can do a lot of work, but sometimes like the effectiveness of what it makes is not really that high. So you have to be able to know exactly like what's going on in order to make that work. Now, if you have a full-time job and you're unable to start making content, unable to start posting, you still need to have some sort of consumable item that people can go read through, watch through, listen to get a feel for you, your business, and starts to future pace them imagining working with you. So if you're working a full-time job, maybe you can't go and post content because you don't want to lose your job. Okay, first things first, you're gonna start needing to have some what we call static proof assets. Static meaning you make it one time and you can send it to people. Proof meaning it just shows your expertise and shows why someone should listen to you. We call it asset because it's gonna keep bringing you cash month after month, year after year, decade after decade, right? So ideally, you're gonna have a number of different assets. Number 1 is gonna be like your business resume. So that's gonna be basically breaking down what is your business about, who can it help, why can it help people out, what are some of the qualifications or criteria you have towards people believing that you can do what you say you can do. Now, if you don't have a lot of industry experience, that's okay. We can still tie in some of your past life into a cohesive story that gets people to respect you. If you have a lot of experience within corporate America in terms of the finance or accounting space, you could just use your regular resume when you're talking to people. That is one proof asset, right? If you have the resume, use it. If you don't, then you have to go and create your own from your business kind of point of view. The next asset is going to be some kind of FAQ, frequently asked questions. Now, this is something I actually started using in the past year and a half because I would get the same questions asked over and over again, and it wasn't that it was bad, but it just feels like it was extending the time that someone would have to do a consultation call, and it would also almost give them homework to go on research even further. Now, it's not that homework is bad or you have to have people like sign up with you on the first time you speak with them, but you ideally want to have people do as much research as they ideally can before they ever get on the phone with you, right? I don't want to be teaching people about me. I want them to be making decisions. Because if you teach someone about you, now they have to go and digest what they just learned. Now they have to go and process it. Now they can make plans. Like, you don't be teaching. At that point on the consultation call, there's no teaching. If you have to explain to someone why they should be working with a bookkeeper, or they ask you like, tell me what you can do. Oh, I don't know what you offer. That's too late. You got to downgrade that call, get them off the phone, give them some homework, and then do another sales call after that point. You need to make sure. And unfortunately, what happens is the less that a business owner like looks up to you and has that reverence towards your skill, the more that you need to send them these items to get them to start going. Another thing that works really well is like having some sort of ebook, right? So now, I'm not necessarily saying you need to go be an author and write this thing from scratch, right? Again, you have these AI tools that can do that, but in a lot of cases when it comes to these products that you're making from the AI, it doesn't take very long. It can cause a lot of respect and people really like it, right? So just inside of your book, just making sure you have an intro about you, making sure that you have some area of value that people can like learn and read and watch from within there, and then making sure that has a lot of call to actions within there. Again, it doesn't take you very long. Like it took, when I made my book, like my book's called Six Figure Partnerships, that was before AI was a thing. So it took me probably about a year, maybe a year and 2 months to make mine, but you can go and do yours in one day. Doesn't take very long. Right? So if you have those 3 items, that's going to cause the people to respect you before they go on the consultation call with you. So then all you should do is make sure if you're talking to the right person, if you then have these assets, they respect you. Now you just have to make sure you're doing really good on your consultation call, and then people are going to want to work with you at those higher price points. Now, for me, I find that when I utilize like LinkedIn, it makes it a lot easier for me to start stacking connections with the right size business owners. Again, the one thing that people struggle with in marketing is we're talking to the wrong size people. And also, before we go into this next point, if you understand really about those trust building assets and why it's important to build reverence, put a 2 down inside the comments below. Or if you have a question that you want me to answer, drop that also down inside the comments. I would love to be able to interact with you further. I'm seeing inside of the Facebook group, I'm seeing they said, okay, should I use Facebook or should I use LinkedIn when it's marketing? I think it's by Alma. A-L-M-A, Alma is the person that asked the question in the Facebook group. Thank you so much for providing this question. Okay, so Facebook versus LinkedIn. I am not a person where it's you have to do this or you have to do that. I don't really care what platform it is. I'm not paid by LinkedIn. I'm not paid by Facebook or Instagram, so I don't really have a horse in the race, so to speak. It's just whatever one is the most effective at the moment in time. Now, for me, right, if I'm selling bookkeeping services where it's like I need someone that has a high enough revenue to be able to afford to pay me, I can't quite risk talking to beginners. So on Facebook, there's not really as easy of a way to understand who is just getting started in their business versus for a platform like a LinkedIn or sometimes like an Instagram. You have better research tools to understand who you're actually speaking with. So almost every single person that I connect with on LinkedIn is doing at least $600,000 per year in the business. And again, that makes it so that if I do talk to the people and I do get them on a consultation call, I don't have to worry about talking to someone that's too small to afford my services. So for that reason, I like LinkedIn a little bit more. Another reason why LinkedIn can be really good, at least these days, is because you're able to send a high number of communications or like a broadcast message to every single person that you're already connected with. That way, what that allows you to do is that every single time that you either need more clients or you want more clients, let's say you have 2,000 connections, right? If you have 2,000 connections, certain social media platforms like Facebook or Twitter will not let you contact all of those people. I have a Facebook group, for example, you may be watching this in the Facebook group, where it has 43,000 people inside of it. I can only contact maybe 5 people a day on my Facebook. Like my Facebook Messenger does not work, right? We simply sent too many messages, we talked to too many people as we welcome people inside of our Facebook group, right? So there's limits and restrictions versus on LinkedIn, I can send a message to all 7,000 of my connections in the span of a week. So it gives you more flexibility that you can utilize your audience a little bit more favorably and you can reach your audience in a much simpler, easier kind of manner. So at this moment in time, I like LinkedIn for those reasons. So I can control my audience size, right, number both with the revenue size as well as the number of people, and I can actually respond to them, reach out to them, have a conversation, and build those relationships. Now, one thing is, like, for me, I like to touch every single person in my audience at least once every 6 months. So if you're in our mentorship program, we give you a little bit of a better cadence, what to say and like how to actually say it. But if you're just watching this thing, at least once every 6 months, you should be going back through all the leads that you have inside of your pipeline and seeing if they have some kind of update, or if they're like learning more about you, or if the content you started making actually has some sort of impact. Okay, that's the reason why we're making that content. That's why we're getting all those guides out. That's why we're making the ebook. That's why we're doing the FAQ, because I need to make sure that by the time that I reach back out to a person, they have moved closer and closer towards work with me. If I can see that they do that, like maybe like this, hey, I saw this video of you. Hey, what did you mean when you said that? Hey, I saw this article that you posted. That was really helpful. I know that I'm actually making progress in my marketing, and then it makes it very easy for you to get them on the phone to want to work with you. Then you just implement your sales script and you're gonna be good, okay? If you don't have a sales script, we do give you that inside our mentorship program, or if you're inside of our school group, we have a whole sales course that breaks down, I believe it's 7 or 8 hours worth of like sales content. So you can go watch that if you want. Now, again, watching these YouTube videos and like this free training, very helpful, very good. We don't hide anything inside of like our channels, but not a lot of people have time to go and listen to hundreds and hundreds of videos, right? So if you want to skip that like trial and error, that learning phase, and just go get the information you need right at the moment you need it, I invite you to click the link inside the description below to book a call with myself. Let's see if I can help you in a mentorship program, right? That way I can take a look at you. I can sit down with you and say, okay, cool. So based on where you're at right now, this is the path and the process that would actually give you the best results in the short period of time. I know you're here on the internet to do this, but like on the internet, that's not relevant to you. You should be doing A. You should be then doing C. You should be then doing D, and this will lead you to the result that you want. If you want that guidance and you want someone who's been where you're trying to go to help you hand in hand, step by step, click the link inside the description, book a call, let's see if I can help you out. Also remember, it's not just for people that already have an existing business, right? Maybe you're starting your business and you're pre-revenue. Maybe you need to learn bookkeeping. That's also something we help people out with inside our mentorship program. We teach you bookkeeping, the accounting software, and a little bit of accounting to make sure you know exactly what you're talking about, okay? So hopefully you learned something new. If that resonates with you, if you think that this could be helpful, click the link, book a call. Let's see if I can help you, okay? I'll talk to you soon. Have a good rest of your day. And if you have any other questions, reach out to me either on school, reach out to me on Facebook. I'll be sure to kind of get back to you when I am available and when I see your message, okay? I'll talk to you soon. Have a good rest of your day. Bye.